Windfall is a movie which recently came out on Netflix, starring Lily Collins, Jesse Plemons, and Jason Segel. And it may just be the worst movie of 2022 so far. Let's talk about why. Windfall is about a man who breaks into a tech billionaire's holiday home, but the couple arrive at the holiday home just as he's about to leave from robbing the place, which leaves a conundrum. What does he do? Does he just escape some other way? Or does he keep them captive and hold them at ransom rather stupidly? They go with the second option. Now this movie, at some point in the promotion of itself, I don't know who came up with this, but they decided to refer to it as Hitchcockian, which is just damn stupid. You don't compare yourself to one of the greatest filmmakers of all time or to one of the masters of cinema unless someone else brings up that comparison. You don't call your own movie the next Citizen Kane or the next Empire Strikes Back or the next Godfather Part 2. You don't do that with your own movie because you're just setting yourself up to fail. And that's exactly what happens with this movie. Now I can see where the filmmakers would be like, yeah, we want to make a Hitchcock-esque movie and here's how we're going to do it. You could try that, say it within your own circle, don't put it in your promotional material because that's just damn stupid. But here's the thing with Windfall. Fantastic cast. Lily Collins, Jesse Plemons, Jason Segel, as I already mentioned. Damn good actors. But the story, fucking awful. So as I mentioned, guy breaks into the house, couple who own the house come along, and then he's got a catch-22. What do I do? Do I run away and just pretend it didn't happen, or do I keep them captive for some reason? So Jason Segel confronts the couple, no weapon in hand, no gun, no sword, no lightsaber, no nothing. And the couple just submit to him basically. They just do whatever he wants. Lily Collins sits on the couch, and Jesse Plemons, okay, I guess they're trying to convey that he's intimidated by Jason Segel because he's the bigger man, but Jason Segel is outnumbered. There's two of them, one of him. You know, one of them could run at him from one side, one of them could throw things at him. Jesse Plemons could distract him while Lily Collins tries to escape. But that doesn't happen. They just go along with the whole, he might have a weapon, so let's do what he says. But they ultimately end up at a point where Jason Segel's character is locking the other two in a sauna so they can't escape for a certain amount of time while he escapes. But when he's going to escape, he sees a camera. This forces him to go back and say, hey, where's all the cameras? You said there was no cameras. Which further leads to him demanding $150,000, to which Jesse Plemons' character laughs and says, that's not a lot of money. Why would you do that? Just pay the money. What they end up doing, Jesse Plemons ends up arguing up, so the value of money goes up. So Jason Segel ends up demanding $500,000, whereas Jesse Plemons could just pay the $150,000 and they would have been free. But because of, I guess, logistics, which is, you know, the best thing to put into a movie, Jesse Plemons' personal assistant or whoever, they can't get the money to him for 24 hours. So the three people are going to have to stay in the house all together until the money arrives in a bag outside the door. You've got this pairing of three people who, you know, or they're forced to be together. So what do? You get them to get up to some hilarious hijinks. Is there going to be a weird escape plan from Jesse Plemons and Lily Collins? Is there going to be a Stockholm Syndrome thing where ultimately they all become friends and help each other out? Well, no. Instead, they wait. They sit down and they wait. And then the gardener comes because, you know, you got to break up this waiting game. And so there's a pathetic attempt at doing a note to the gardener without Jason Segel realizing it, but then Jason Segel realizes it. So now the gardener is forced to come inside. And again, we wait. We all just sit there, the audience as well, while we wait for the money to arrive. That is until Jesse Plemons decides, you know what, now I'm going to stand up to you. Not when you first broke in, not when you demanded all the money, not for the last 20 hours we spent together. Now I'm going to make my stand. So he says to Jason Segel, you don't even have bullets in that gun. Ultimately, Jason Segel shoots the gun. Now, there's going to be a lot of spoilers here, by the way, if you haven't noticed. When Jason Segel shoots the gun, the gardener gets up and runs, and his foot gets caught on the rug. He trips. His head goes through a plate glass window or through a piece of glass on a door, and he gets impaled on it, and everybody's shocked. And this is actually a moment where I said, okay, now things are getting interesting. What are they going to do with the body? What are they going to do now? Surely it's going to get interesting now, because all three of them just stood there and watched this guy die. Well, they all go back to waiting again. And basically, they should just call this movie Waiting. So the gardener's dead. They don't make clear what to do with his body, but he's gone now. And ultimately, the money is delivered. Outside the gate, a bag of money is delivered. Jason Segel sends Lily Collins' character out to go get the money. Now, it's terrible cinematography here. You can't see shit. You can barely see her face. You can just about see the bag of money, and then a car goes past. But Lily Collins clearly is looking at the bag of money, thinking about her options, that she could just take the money and run. All the way along, they've led you down a very obvious path that her and Jesse Plemons don't really like each other that much. He thinks they're trying to have a kid. She's clearly on the pill. They made that very evident. So they're not as much of a happy couple as everyone first thought they were. Shock horror. So after Lily Collins has her little debate in her mind of what she's going to do, ultimately she goes back inside the house. She gives the money to Jason Segel, and he's just about to leave. Jesse Plemons is tied up in the kitchen. Lily Collins is tied up in the living room. And Jason Segel's just about to leave. But before he does, Jesse Plemons says something really stupid, pisses him off. So Jason Segel runs in and just has to have this face-to-face with Jesse Plemons. Just enough time for Lily Collins to lift her foot up, and very conveniently, there'll be a piece of glass under her foot, to which she picks up a piece of glass, of course, from when the gardener got killed. So, you know, there was a reason for him to be there. It was kind of stupid, and why Jason Segel would tie her up exactly where that piece of glass is and not pick the glass up. Who knows? So she uses the piece of glass to get free. Then when Jason Segel goes to leave, she grabs an ornament or a big statue thing and basically murders Jason Segel. So Jesse Plemons is celebrating in his chair going, oh yeah, you did it, you killed them, great, we're free. And here's the big twist. Here's the big Hitchcockian twist. Spoiler alert here for anyone that still wants to watch this piece of shit movie this far into the review. Lily Collins then takes the gun and shoots Jesse Plemons. And if you didn't see that coming a mile off, you probably fell asleep during the movie. That's the only way you could have missed it. And then she takes the money and goes to leave. She looks down on her feet, and then the credits roll. And you're just left there going, that was about 2 hours of my life I'm never getting back. So when it comes down to a rating for Windfall, the worst movie of 2022, it can get nothing but a 0 out of 10. The first ever 0 out of 10. I fairly recently gave my first ever 10 out of 10 on the channel for The Batman. Check out that review if you haven't. But one thing you definitely shouldn't check out ever is Windfall on Netflix. The thing is, this movie is made by the same director who made The One I Love, a movie starring Mark Duplass. It's a pretty damn good, interesting movie. And Windfall itself, it's based within one location, more or less. And I've got great respect for that level of filmmaking. I know from personal experience myself, making a film in one location is not an easy thing to do to keep it interesting. But you can do better than they did in Windfall. You do better than just sitting there and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Waiting. Just waiting for it to end. Bye.